everybody, thanks for tuning in. This is a YouTube drawing show where I, Nathaniel Osollo, convince someone else to make a collaborative drawing with me. We use digital drawing tools to draw in the same space at the same time, which you can't really do in the real world. We're going to have a conversation, hopefully a good time, and hopefully a good drawing at the end of it, but there's no pressure on drawing quality. There's no pressure on how far along we get in the drawing. If we finish something cool, if we don't, that's fine too. If you're new to these videos, there are two reasons that I make these videos. Number one is to sell comics. I'm running a Kickstarter. At the time that you're watching this video, there will be a Kickstarter. I'm going to be already telling you about it on my Instagram for my new Dark Mouse comic book. And it also gives me an opportunity to hang out and draw with rad artists that I've met in the past and maybe some that I haven't. Follow me on Instagram at iDraw, like and subscribe to all the different things online. Follow my guest today, Erwin Papa. You can follow him at the handle on the screen. If you, I'm gonna have that Kickstarter links and everything in the description in the video below. So if you're seeing this video, I'm already telling you about it somewhere else. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. If you have, if you can, please do. If you can't, tell a friend, share it as much as possible. That's gonna really help out a lot. All right. Moving on, I've already mentioned him, but I want to give Erwin, I want to give you a chance to introduce yourself and tell the people about you. What is the elevator pitch for Erwin Papa? And I don't know if I've ever asked, am I saying Erwin Papa right?
Yeah, that's correct. You got it. You got it. You know what? I didn't know it was Osollo. I saw the double L's. I was like, is it that? Because I've been saying Osollo.
It's all right, man. I'm not mad
this
at
whole
you.
time. I'm so sorry. Nathaniel.
It's totally cool. Tell everybody about yourself.
Oh, yeah,
You're an artist. You're a sculptor.
Yeah, artist, sculptor. I've done a few comic books, and those are mostly based on toy lines, like independent toy lines. I've sculpted for independent toy lines as well. That's pretty much it.
Cool. A man of few words. Cool. All right, so we're going to be drawing on the same canvas today. We're using Aggie. If you, for anybody watching, if you've watched the past videos, we're using this platform again. I'm going to turn off this layer with all of our promotional stuff. Erwin, I don't know if you've joined this particular drawing yet. Do you?
Oh yeah, I can do that. But my window, my screen, you won't see me anymore now.
Yeah, your video goes away. That's totally fine. Oh, you know what I should do? Hang on, bring your video back up. I'm gonna make a screen. I'm gonna take a screen grab of your face, and I'm gonna put that in the background. Hang on, that face is no, that face was better. Do it again. Sorry, I missed that one. All right. There. Okay. So I'm gonna make this in my Zoom background instead of this dumb sandwich.
Oh, I get it.
Put it on desktop. I'm gonna call it EP.
Why sandwich?
Just because I had it in my old files. It was part of a gag drawing or fun series of artworks that this comedian Jamel Johnson wanted to do. He was like, hey, I'm gonna do he reached out to me online, and like I've drawn some stuff occasionally for him and like sent it to him, and he posted on social media. But like for that particular drawing, he wanted, or for that series of tweets, he was doing a series of bad, I don't know if they were bad, but like a series of Christmas movie pitches, and they were all joke movie pitches. And one of them was about how I think I'm gonna get this wrong. It's like how Santa had to deliver one Jersey Mike's sandwich to somebody somewhere at some point, and like he wasn't able to make it. And it was called like a Jersey Mike's Miracle. If I can find that file, I'll send it to you, and I'll put that up in the video description as well, because that's online somewhere. But I had something
Okay.
else as my Zoom background, and I was like, I'm just gonna use this sandwich. But I'm gonna put your image up here now. Where do I go? Choose virtual background. Add
Oh yeah, I
image.
gotta see it. I gotta see what that looks like.
Open. There we go.
Oh my god.
Perfect. So you're so everyone will be able to see you while I'm talking, and they'll be able to see our drawing.
Perfect.
Perfect.
That's perfect.
All right, so I'm gonna prepare some layers over here. Feel free to talk about your drawing process as we're going. And actually, we still haven't worked out what we're gonna be drawing. So I mentioned that I normally try and use algorithms that are coming up, and there's a Doctor Strange movie coming up, and Scarlet Witch is in it. Do you want to draw Doctor Strange or something mystical or anything in that arena?
Okay, yeah, I could do something like that.
Or we can just do some robot cyborg people, which I'm totally down with as well.
Oh yeah, we could do that too. Whatever. It's up to you. What do you want to say?
That's me. All right, let's see Erwin draw a Doctor Strange cyborg character.
Okay, let's do that. Ooh, it's like the multiverse.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there you go. See, totally justified.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. And I'm gonna give us a background too. We might go real abstract with it, but I normally put in like some kind of frame. The other thing I want to mention also is like we should, or not we should, but like I want you to feel completely comfortable covering my some of my drawing and coloring in some of my drawing if you want to add some shading, or if like, or you think a character should be looking a different way, you know, like throw that out there. Say it out loud, and I'll make the changeable. The more we can have our drawings like interweaving with each other and interacting with each other, I think the more successful this will be.
Okay, yeah. And same goes for you, I guess. You can be my art director.
Sweet. Let's see. I'm not gonna do pick a color. Pick a letter.
Pick a letter. M.
M for magenta. We'll go with that.
Okay.
Good choice. I don't know if that's really magenta. Yeah, that's closer.
How'd you make the line straight?
Click and then well, hang on, let me go back.
Oh, are you on a laptop? Are you on a PC computer?
Yeah, I'm on a laptop, and I'm working on my Intuos Wacom touchpad thing. So if you're using a device like that, you would tap in the place you want. So I'm in the bottom left-hand corner over here. I'm gonna tap once, and then come up to the top left and shift, and then tap again. Straight line.
Oh, okay.
So there's got to be an equivalent on the iPad. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know.
But yeah, we were saying before we jumped on tonight that like I use this a handful of times, and man, I'm not gonna look at my Zoom webcam video because it's real weird seeing you like lording over me with your eyes behind me. It's fun. It's a little weird. I did this to myself. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I've used this like a handful of times, but you started you and June the Goon. If for anyone who's not familiar, you guys started a drawing club. Talk a little bit about that.
Oh yeah, me. June the Goon and Roshi and we started a drawing club in Long Beach called Ink and Drink Long Beach, which we do every month on a Wednesday or a Thursday. um, at a bar called Supply and Demand that's on 2500 East Anaheim Street in Long Beach. We June it was all June's idea to start this drawing club because we noticed that LA had one with Sketch Party, San Diego also had one, and there's a few other ones in LA too, Doodle Gang, and I think there's probably another one too. But June noticed that there wasn't one in Long Beach, so we reached out. Before Supply and Demand, we were at different venues, but we just kept it going, and we found a home at Supply and Demand, and now we're doing it there every month.
Nice.
Yeah, it's always a good turnout.
So when did that start?
See,
What was the you've been doing it? You started this like before the pandemic?
Oh yeah, we started this in 2018.
Okay.
We started in 2018. Yeah, we started in 2018, and then the first venue that we did it at closed down, and then we had to find another venue. But then also at the same time, like just a few months after starting Ink and Drink, we started getting into doing art shows through a series called the art show series called Hello Welcome, and we focused our energy there. So we put away Ink and Drink for a while, and then yeah, I think it was like 2019 during Comic Con. Woes, mural artist. Are you familiar with Woes? He paints
No.
those pandas. He paints
Oh,
pandas.
yeah, I have seen this. Yes.
Yeah, he's like worldwide muralist. He was. I don't know. I keep forgetting how we got him or how he came into our circle, but he started DJing our events.
Oh,
But then we
neat.
put that on. Yeah, and then we put that on hiatus. But we put the Ink and Drink on hiatus because we were focused on the other shows. The venue closed down that we did it at, and then Woes hits us up during Comic Con, asks us if we want to bring back Ink and Drink because he was DJing at another venue, Supply and Demand, and that's how we came back. And then
Okay, so you guys took like a hiatus for a little while.
Yeah, it was like almost a year, maybe less than a year, but it was long enough that it felt long.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And Hello Welcome, that looked like a really fun time too. I didn't get out to any of those shows. Is that still going on?
No, unfortunately not. I mean, I think that's probably also due to the quarantine.
Sure.
Yeah, due to the quarantine, and a lot of the people that there was 9 of us originally, and I think between the 9 of us, we got other things happen. Like a bunch of them got mural jobs, like just more projects, probably because of Hello Welcome.
Sure. Yeah, one of the artists.
But I would like to do something like that again.
Yeah, absolutely. That looked super fun. I'm always kind of looking for stuff like that. Are you familiar with the Garage Gallery in LA?
Yeah, I remember them.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure they're still around, but I haven't seen them doing any shows in a while. They probably are, and just my algorithms aren't showing it to me. But like that's looked like a similar space to me, at least online. While you're talking, I'm drawing here, and feel free to start whenever you want. Don't feel like you gotta wait for me to do anything here. I'm kind of just adding in some like quasi-futuristic and abstract-ish like temple columns, I think, that will act as the background to your Doctor Strange character.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, so feel free to do whatever you need to do. But Garage Gallery seemed like it's very similar to what was going on at Hello Welcome. Like what was the scenario at Hello Welcome? It looked like a garage space that you guys kind of came into. I don't know who the organizer was. I think I was talking to Kat Bing for a hot second, because she and I were doing like a public art thing out in Pasadena in 2019. But I want to say that the main guy is named Josh. I don't really know, but it looked like a garage space that you guys were at, and kind of just moved in, started painting murals, and then would change that up monthly or quarterly. Like what was the operation at Hello Welcome?
Yeah, Hello Welcome started with Powwow, which is now called um, what is it called now?
Oh, I
They
didn't
they
realize it
changed their
changed.
name. They changed their name to something Walls. Dang it, it's not Secret Walls. I keep thinking Secret Walls, but it's not that.
Shoot,
Yeah,
I
they
didn't
changed their
realize.
name.
Yeah, I didn't realize they changed, but that
Yeah,
makes
but
sense why I haven't seen them.
when they were still, I think it's just Long Beach Walls for the Long Beach side. But June the Goon, he was able to he got a wall through Powwow, and the the building that he got, the wall that he got, um, the owner of that building wanted to do do art events at their place, and they haven't done it before.
Oh, cool.
I guess they put their hat in the ring for they opened it up to Powwow as a wall space, and then they reached out to June to do art events, and then with Josh, we got this thing. We got it going. They had a space to do the event, which is a huge space. I don't know the math, but it was a large floor.
And was there
Large,
like was there a wall for everybody every time you
yeah.
guys were doing it?
I think there was eight. We had eight walls. We had eight walls, and they measured around 19 by 22 feet. So just imagine that. It was eight of them.
That's a
So like
big wall.
yeah. So pretty much like the whole venue was covered with murals. We had music there because we knew some people. Uh, like people had friends that were music artists. Yeah, it was a whole experience.
That's cool.
Yeah, yeah, it was crazy. It was like one of the biggest shows I've ever been in, and also helped organize.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice. You were doing like some kind of like operation stuff for them?
yeah, kind of because we were hooked up with June and Josh. So then once that happened, I don't know who else like got the word out or like how we formed the group, but it was a group that uh I knew a lot of them from before.
Uh,
And then new friendships happened because like the people I knew made friends with the other people that I knew that were on the other side. So
sure.
yeah, that was yes, there was a lot of organization. I mean, there's a lot of organization and a lot of learning how to do an event at that capacity because there's a lot of things that we had to deal with. But yeah, we did. I think we did three events there. We had a Hello Welcome. We had a Hello Welcome closing show. Then we also had an all-female battle competition with Allison Bamcat, Alepsis, Chriselle, and MRB Baby. Uh,
I only know Allison Bamcat out of those names, but I'm sure like the other artists that like killer work.
oh yeah, the you should check out. I mean, yeah, they're all great, but Chriselle was like the Chriselle's like the standout too, because she really blew up after that. And
Oh,
I don't.
nice.
I like to think that we were a part of it, but I think she would have made it even without us. But I think we our wall was her first wall.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and we just kept her along, just let her have. I think she did 2 murals there, and then she also did the battle. Yeah, she's really good. And the house in Bamcat, I mean, she's nonstop.
Yeah, she's kind of ridiculous. I loved her. Like I love playing around with AR stuff and like that AR wall that she had in downtown LA at what's the hotel? The Standard. Did you
Oh
happen to
yeah.
see that? Where you point your phone at it and it starts animating?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that stuff so much.
I'm sorry, I keep starting up Doctor Strange. I'm not too sure like what I want to do.
No pressure. Again, we don't really have to finish anything. The quality doesn't really matter. This is just kind of fun. We're just putting marks in the same space together. If you want to move them around, that's cool too. If you want to make them bigger or smaller on the screen, that's
Yeah.
totally fine. I try and keep everything within an hour and a half. So like I'll call out like when I'm moving on to like colors or inks if we're looking at this as a comic book process. I want to try and do more color though, like more digital painting this time around. The past couple of videos I've been doing a lot of like just standard comic process, sketch it, ink it, put some colors underneath and shading if I have time. But I'm gonna try and go without lines today if I can.
Oh my god.
Like it's a big deal.
That's crazy.
Brush. Oh, that gray really pops and hurts my eyes. I'm gonna go more close to the color in the background. Try like that.
Oh yeah, cybernetic. I forget about the cybernetic. Let me do this. Oh well, how would you know it's Doctor
Oh yeah. You gotta have what's a telltale sign of Doctor Strange? Like the hair, the mustache,
Strange? Yeah, that
the
cape,
collar.
that collar, yeah.
Yeah. There's so many costumes from comics that in some like the earlier movies from like the 90s or anytime before that, in a comic book movie, the costume could like make or break the visuals of a comic book movie. And there's so many that like just felt like for like almost forever it felt like that, like, oh, you could never do this costume on the screen because it would not work. And like I remember thinking that about like Doctor Strange, and then hearing that they're making the Doctor Strange movie, and just like how are they going to do these weird ass gloves and that weird ass cape, and like it totally works.
Oh yeah, yeah. It does. They even they and they'll adjust it every time they portray it on in a new movie, in a new iteration. Because
Oh
there was a
sure.
point where, remember, they gave them those yellow orangey gloves.
Yes. And when I saw them I was like, yeah, it doesn't work for me.
Yeah, and then they knew that too, so they didn't bring it back.
Oh, is that right? They does he
Mhm.
not have them in like the Avengers
He
movies?
it's no, he doesn't have them.
Oh,
Like either it's just like a blue, it's the blue thing that just a blue sleeve
uh
from the blue top that he's wearing.
I see. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, did I disappear your? Oh,
No,
we're
I'm still here.
okay, cool. Um, gonna do this. I'll rename my layers.
Yeah. Are you still reading books or comic books?
No, I gave up reading. I don't read anymore.
Yeah.
I said nuts to that.
Who reads anyways?
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, of course. I'm reading. What am I reading right now? I just finished. I don't know his name. The book is somewhere here because I checked it out from my local library. I read a lot of comics through my library. And oh, you know what? I'm gonna do an opacity brush on this one. I read the I don't know exactly the title. It's like The Life of Jack Kirby, something like that.
Oh, Tom Scioli.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm real into I'm gonna go straight with the just straight opacity for now, do highlights and shadows later. I'm very into cartoons kayfabe right now. I haven't watched as much as I was recently. Like I was having that play while I was working on my comic in the background. That's such a rad YouTube series. Just dudes looking at comics, just basically doing like DVD commentary on comic books. But like I heard about that Jack Kirby book on that YouTube show, so I checked it out from the local library, and it was cool. A lot of interesting stuff, interesting takes on his relationship with Stan Lee, all that good stuff, or bad stuff.
Can you explain why he draws Jack Kirby the way he draws Jack Kirby?
No, I can't. I was thinking about that the whole time I was reading that. Did you read the book?
No, no, I haven't. I want to get it and I want to get into it. I eventually will, but I've just seen images of it, and I always question like, why is it drawn that way? Like, I understand that he's differentiating Jack from the other people because the other people look a little more realistic. But like, why didn't you just draw it the way Jack draws it?
Right,
Draws
exactly.
people.
Yeah. Like why does he look like a manga influenced character,
Yeah.
and everybody else looks like straight up illustrate like not straight up like diagram illustration, but like old school illustration technique stuff.
Right.
Definitely more realistic and naturalistic. Yeah, I can't explain that either. I saw that too, and I was like, it became an issue for me when I was like not halfway, like it's a biography of his whole life. Like it's an unauthorized biography. So like right when like he was an adult, when he like starts like applying for jobs and things like that, I was like, I noticed the difference then, because when he's a little kid, he's drawn in the manga style and it's big eyes, big head, big hair, and so like that doesn't look that out of place. But as soon as he's like going into interview for like an illustration job in the book, I'm like, wait a minute, like how old is he here? Like he still looks 12. And then like when he's an old man, it's like, well, he looks like just like a tired 12-year-old at this point. It doesn't really work for me, but I'm just one guy. And like the story is still good, and like all the art, it still makes sense.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see like all these different perspectives, because it's all based on like he has a glossary and an index, and it's all based on various documented occurrences and events from Jack's life. Like there's some very detailed record notes that he has on like, oh, this was this award show, or this was this convention, or this was like the story around the office. Like it was based on a rumor. Like somebody said so and so said this, so I included it in this book. So like you got to take it all kind of with a grain of salt. Yeah, it was pretty interesting to see a lot of that and see some stuff that you hear elsewhere corroborated more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a really good artist. I also enjoy the the debate between him and Stan, and
Of course.
how all those things get created, how all the characters got created.
Right, right. And then like who is switching up the story? Why didn't
Yeah,
like these people stand up for those people? And like why didn't like there's so much in that book that really portrays Jack Kirby as not kind of biting the bullet and not saying something when he felt slighted, because like he needed the paycheck, even though he was like this, like it's Jack Kirby, king of comics, et cetera, et cetera. Like maybe he didn't know like the power he had, or like he didn't have those negotiation skills, or that skill set to really work on or work with.
yeah, maybe.
But yeah, the whole Stan and Jack thing is something that I learned about like later on in life, and just like you gotta like take a step back and you're like, whoa, is this guy really who he said he was this whole time? And Stan Lee's excellent promoter of comics.
Yeah, he was, and yeah, I guess I always get I guess upset that we'll just never know the truth
Sure, or
behind
like like
behind all of it.
yeah, I hear you. Or like to what level it is.
Like, yeah, who really did what? Because you hear stories about Jack putting in little captions in the gutter areas, like this
Hmm.
happens here, and this is what this person should say, and then Stan will take it. Like Stan still put the dialogue. He still gave the characters personality,
Right.
but then like it was that Jack's is that in per Jack's direction, or was that just Stan going on a whim and looking at Jack's designs and saying like, "Oh, this person acts like this, so I'm gonna make them talk like this. This is how they talk."
Right, right. And like the book addresses some of that, but like it's like you say, it's still really unclear. Like there's some of it where he says like um it's told in the voice of Jack Kirby. So like he'll say like, oh yeah, then I was working on this Fantastic Four book, and I drew these characters, and I threw in the Silver Surfer, and I made these characters sentimental characters, and then I made those notes, and in the margins, or I made those notes in the margins, and I gave it to Jack, or I gave it to Stan, and then Stan, what do you say? He's like, and then Stan just made them like your standard mad scientist, which
Oh,
yeah. So like there's like stories of him like changing stuff. There's a few stories of him like keeping everything, but like not doing it exactly the way he wanted. There's a lot of there's a lot of that, and it's so interesting because like it seemed like there were a lot of there were a lot of people in his life that, according to this book, anyways, there were a lot of people in his life that were saying like, hey, like you gotta stand up for yourself, this and that, and like he wouldn't. It seemed like he wouldn't do that much, but he would definitely like, from the stories in this book again, would stand up for all kinds of other people all the time, which was like really really cool thing to do. Um, he's like one of those dudes who won't do a lot for himself, but like if he sees you struggling, he's gonna like put whatever he's working on down and go help you with your thing. Um,
wow.
which is like noble and tragic at the same time.
hmm Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. My first San Diego Comic Con was in '94, and that's the year Jack passed away.
Right.
I think he passed away in February, so it was just earlier that year he passed away.
Were
So
you were
you
you
had
like aware of him at that point in like
a
your
little
reading
bit,
comics career?
a little bit. Yeah, I always went. My cousins took me to San Diego, and they still do.
Nice.
Um,
They still
so
they still take you?
yeah, I go to their house, and then they still drive me. I'm always like the perpetual younger cousin
Makes sense. You'll always
to
be younger
them.
than them.
Yeah, yeah, that's true too. But yeah, they're the ones that showed me Jack Kirby and George Perez, like everything that mattered in comics. I learned through them.
Oh,
Like I knew
nice.
what to pay attention to and what to not pay attention to. They still caught the image. Uh, they were still on image. Like they liked the image new stuff, but they knew the old stuff. They knew Jack Kirby and what he meant. They already knew the Stan Lee bit as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Um, yeah, the Frank Miller Dark Knight. I learned that from my cousins. Yeah, all that old school, which I guess now is old school stuff. I learned
Sure,
from
yeah.
them.
Yeah, I remember getting Dark Knight stuff and it was new. Good times. Yeah, I had a few cousins that played a similar role in growing up and reading comics. Like I had a few cousins that like all we would talk about, or at least most of the stuff that we would talk about every time we got together was like which superhero would beat that superhero and who would win in the fight and all that stuff. Um, and like they were super into the X-Men and like I hadn't started watching the X-Men yet. I think I was still into like still just like solely into Batman, maybe. I can't really remember, but like they had so many X-Men toys. I remember anytime
Oh yeah.
we would all go to my grandma's house, they would just like dump out this bucket of action figures, and I'd be like, "Who are all these weird characters?" And they would like go through and like say, "This is so and so, and this is random, and this is his arm gun, and this is like all the different giving me all the backstory to all those guys. And then I had another cousin who worked at a comic book shop, or actually a couple of cousins now that I think about it. And like they would get me comics growing up. So like I had, I got issue 1 of Dark Knight Returns. And like growing up, I thought that that was the only issue of that. I didn't realize that there were 3 other issues. And then like when I found those, I was like, holy shit, this is like just part of the story that I've been reading and rereading my whole life.
Yeah. What were you? Do you remember your first comics?
I remember my first comic. I think I remember my first couple. Like they weren't like any like significant issues. The first
Yeah.
one was uh, an Amazing Spider-Man issue, which like I read so much that like the cover fell off. Like those 2 staples on the back of the comic or on the spine are just like that's like barely holding everything together. But it's this raggedy copy of Amazing Spider-Man drawn by Mark Bagley or Bagley. I don't know how to pronounce his name. And I don't remember who it was written by, but it was at the same time, it was early 90s. So it was at the same time that like Maximum Carnage was going on. So they had like an interlude to that at some point. And like the way they drew, I didn't understand sequential art appropriately at that time. So like there's like a sequence of Carnage's arm. This is way more than you asked for, but there's a sequence of Carnage's arm grabbing a guy by the face, and then all of the symbiote is like basically inserting itself into the guy's airways and his
Oh
nose and
my
his mouth,
god.
and like and he murders him right there, and over like 3 or 4 panels. But as a kid, I was looking at that and I was like, all right, his arm looks this way here, and then it changes, and now it has bumps, and now it has like weird ridges in it. And I was like, so I guess this is like Red Tree Man, and he's like holding this guy's face. I also didn't understand that the guy died. I was like, that's a weird page where like just like this guy just shows up, grabs some dude's face, and then his arm changes. But it was also like, why does his arm, like I didn't understand that it was liquid and doing a thing. Like I was just like, why does his arm look like a tree branch? I guess that's Tree Guy.
That's funny.
Yeah, but like I remember the villain in that issue was Cardiac.
Oh yeah, I remember. We might have. I think I had that issue too.
Oh really? Nice.
Probably.
Yeah. That anyways, that was the first comic book I ever had. I think the next one was like some red or not red Web of Spider-Man. It was a few Spider-Man issues that were first, and then me and my brother would share and read and listen to a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic based on the TV show. So it wasn't like the cool stuff by Eastman and Laird. although they probably had to sign off on it, but it was like a listen along as there were voice actors reading for the characters on the page, and you turn the page and there'd be sound effects and that kind of thing. That one kind of like same story. It was just like falling apart by the time we were done with it. Like I'm pretty sure I still have both of those.
Wow.
What's your first book? What do you remember?
I remember I was getting those early Mark Bagley Spider-Mans. I even got the ones when Sal Buscema was still drawing it.
Oh, cool.
And it was weird because my mom took me to the mall to get some comic books. She asked like, "Hey, you can get some comic books." The first ones I got was Punisher War Journal and the Spider-Man book, and Daredevil too, because it had a Daredevil had like this demon monster in it. I forgot who the artist was, but it had like this demon monster in it.
Nice.
It just looked cool. It was like a even like cooler version of Daredevil. Not the 90s armor. It was like a monster demon.
Oh, neat.
A red demon with horns. I was like, oh, is this the new Daredevil? It's not. It's just some bad guy. I don't remember the name. But like reading that stuff, like it wasn't the cool image stuff because I couldn't go to a comic book store. I just got stuff that I could get, and then there's like there was a 90s Marvel Christmas special that cartoonist kayfabe covered, and I totally forgot that I had that book.
Oh, neat.
And yeah, it had this cool like Wolverine story where it's Wolverine fighting like robots and stuff, and then you find out it was just a kid playing with a Wolverine action figure, and I would just stare at the action figure drawing of Wolverine, trying to make sense out of like, does this toy exist? Because I had that Toy Biz Wolverine, the blue and yellow costume. And I was looking at the elbow joints. I was like, is this the one that the artist drew?
Oh yeah, trying to make that connection.
Yeah. I was like, oh, why did they draw it different? Yeah, I used to be like really specific with drawings when I was a kid. Like when I was looking at Spider-Man, when I was looking at Spider-Man drawings, I would always pay attention to the web, and then I would always get upset when they changed, the same artist changed the panel, the web design from panel to panel.
Sure. I know
like,
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, why did they keep changing it? Like why like I would count it too. I would count the line of like, oh, this has 15 across the chest, and then the next one only has 12. Like that doesn't make sense. But then like as I got older, I was like you can let go of that stuff. Spider-Man's always going to be Spider-Man. Like, oh, okay. Then I'm kind of like now implementing that stuff into my work. Like, like figuring out shorthand stuff, and then realizing and understanding why those artists drew the way they drew.
Right. Like if you saw Spider-Man it's up close, he's gonna have way more detail on his suit. And then if you see him in the background, like I love whenever Mark Bagley was doing like, oh, here's Spidey doing like 10 backflips and then he kicks somebody in the face. Like because he'll draw all of the Spider-Man doing that sequence of acrobatics, and like, but in those versions of the drawing, like he doesn't have his webs or the colors a little different, so you know that this is him in the past and he was doing those things, and him now is him kicking the character in the face.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and then also realizing too, like, oh, that's okay, you can do that, and you can do that too for an effect. I'm like, oh, like slowly realizing that stuff, but at the same time I was like fighting it, like, no, you gotta show everything all the time.
Right. Yeah, and that's yeah, you learn as you get older, and as you start making stuff like you said, the shorthand. Yeah, that's so crucial. I want to talk, or I want to listen to you talk a little bit about a little more of your work. Like you mentioned toys a little while ago, the Wolverine toy, and you've made and designed toys. If I'm understanding the past Instagram posts that I've seen, and I'm trying to I'm gonna share what I'm doing right here. I'm coloring in the background. I'm trying not to color too much under your Doctor Strange, which is coming out way more naturalistic and not cybernetic than I thought it was going
I
to.
know, yeah. I'll get to it. I gotta figure out like what's the cybernetic.
No problem,
What
no
is the
problem.
cybernetic? Oh,
That's not a dig. It's a great drawing. I also really love your Eye of Agamotto here. Or is that his
yeah,
amulet? I don't
I
know what
guess
that
it's
is.
the Eye Agamotto. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's supposed to be.
Okay, cool.
It's from
Let's
a different universe, Nathaniel. This is from the 512 Marvel
perfect.
universe.
Is that the Long Beach area code?
The 562. This is the 562 dimension.
Okay. Wait, is that the Long Beach area code?
That's the Long Beach area
Oh,
code.
okay, okay, cool. Nice.
Originally the 213 universe.
Oh, that's right.
You remember that?
I remember my cousins telling me about that because I've always been 909.
Oh, 909. What's 909?
That's Inland Empire.
Oh,
Yeah, everybody watching this totally cares about that. There are
it's
tens
good
of
bits.
people.
It's little bits. I
Yeah.
like the background. It has like a pop art visual.
Yeah, not trying to do nothing too serious, trying to keep it abstract. I'm gonna throw in some shading right now and see how far I get. It's quasi Kirby. I threw in like one random ass Roman column to really really get the message across that these are Roman columns,
I see that.
or these are columns, not necessarily
Right.
Roman columns.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but going with the toys, I started out customizing figures at a young age, like probably around 9 or 10. Um, I was doing that, and the only reason I did that, I think I might have seen the first instance in the Wizard magazine, where they would show like toy custom stuff. I was like, oh, you can do that. Oh, what happened?
No, that's me. Hang on. There you
Oh,
go.
there you go.
Sorry.
Oh, you can make that disappear?
Um, and not intentionally. Like what I did was add a new layer, but when I add a new layer and it's not part of the clipping mask, it will.
Oh, I see. I see.
It's gonna like void out anything that's not part of it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I'm not explaining it super clearly, but visually I understand what's happening. I
Yeah.
can't articulate it, but anyway, as soon as I make it part of the clipping mask, then everything above it comes back into play.
Okay, I got it. Got
Yeah.
it. Yeah, sometimes I'll get problems with Aggie, and it'll just um reload all by itself.
Oh wow, that's a
Yeah.
bummer.
And it happens a lot when a bunch of us are on, and I have Discord on, so I'm trying to like chat on Discord.
Oh sure, run
Yeah,
out
it's
of
like everything
bandwidth.
gets spread thin.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with the toys, I was like always customizing toys. I would customize like a few, like the early ones I did was I used a. Are you familiar with toys?
Not as much as you are. So if you're gonna describe something, I'm gonna nod.
Yeah.
If I absolutely have to, I'll say, hey, I don't know what that is. So go for it.
Yeah. So there was this Spider-Man from Toy Biz that was multi-articulated, like it had more joints than a regular
Like
Toy
action
Biz
figure.
figure. Yeah, from its day. It was like taking a lot of cues from the Japanese action figures, where they would just like by default just always give a lot of joints because that's what they always did. So this Spider-Man did that to replicate all the moves that Spider-Man would do in the books.
Sure.
And I
What year
saw
was this?
it's like the early, like the like it was in the 90s, like the early 90s, maybe like
Okay.
94, 93 or something like that. And I
Okay.
saw, I was like, wow, it was so cool. So I got it, and then I kept playing with it, and seeing the customs from Wizard, I noticed that the customs that the characters that people were customizing, they would make characters that don't have toys. So I took that and I turned the Spider-Man into Vega from Street Fighter.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, the clawed guy. So I had to like customize a claw. I think I used like a soda can, cut that up to make the blades, and then glued it on somehow.
Wow, that's like you can cut yourself on that. Were you
Oh
like
yeah,
were you
totally.
getting nicked
Yeah,
all the time?
I probably did. I probably did.
That's funny.
Yeah, so I did that, and but then I put that sculpting aside because it took a lot of time for me to figure out how to make these things. So I just put it away, but I would always think about it. And from buying more toys, I would always have the mindset that like, oh, I can turn this into something else later on,
Oh, that's
which
cool.
which I rarely do, but I always have the intent on doing that. But yeah, when Instagram started, I was also I found a friend in college who also did the same thing. So I just
Nice.
got back into it, sculpting toys again, and then sharing that on Instagram, and then getting my first gig at toy sculpting through someone noticing me on Instagram, and it just took off from there. You could say.
How many toys have you sculpted at this point?
I don't know. I think probably around 15.
Oh,
Not a
cool.
lot, but it's. I mean, that's how much I did. I mean, 15 more than I
Than
did
me.
5 years ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
When so this is like recent. Like when did you start sculpting like as gigs, and when was your last one?
I'm currently sculpting one right now. I wish I could show it. I just can't. I mean, can I show? I'll go
Maybe
back.
if you turn your video back on, you should be able to.
Yeah. I can't see me.
That's okay. I can
But
see you, and when you talk, people will be able to hear you. So go ahead,
okay.
hold it a
Yeah.
little closer.
A little closer. Okay. Yeah. So I can't show the actual sculpt, but I can show you the armature that I made, which is a hand.
I see it.
So I'll be sculpting. It's a 3 3/4 size figure. It's closer to 4.5 inches. But there's that.
Nice.
Um,
And this is like
I can.
you're under an NDA, so you can't share what you're working on.
I can. Yeah. I'll
Okay.
show you. So I'll show you the skeleton. I'll show you all the mangled bone structure that I made with that. I can show
Awesome.
you this. There's a Rufio from
Who's this?
Hook. Rufio from Hook.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is this one that you're just making for fun?
Yeah, it's for a friend. We traded some toys.
That's so cool.
He traded me an original set of G1 Dinobots. Not complete. The figure's complete, but the accessories aren't complete, which I'm still happy with.
What
I
is
get.
what's Generation 1 Dinobots?
Oh, it's from Transformers.
I remember Transformers, but like, oh, with Dinobots, they were the bad guys.
Robot dinosaurs. Oh, they
From
were good guys. They were good guys. It's like Tyrannosaurus Rex, a Brontosaurus, Triceratops, a Stegosaurus, and a pterodactyl. Also, there's this guy. Okay, is this? Can you see? Or I think I should have the light on.
yeah, I can.
Yeah.
The light helps. This is that guy's a little blurry. Do you have like the background blur on?
Oh, I do. Okay, how do I do this? Let me see. Background filters, none.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
So this character's face is covered, or that's a bunch of teeth.
Yeah, there's a bunch of teeth.
Oh wow.
All the gray stuff. It's the stuff that I sculpted.
Oh, that's
This
neat.
is like a side project too, because I just took a toy soldier, I glued the joints in, so it's stiff. It's a base or a armature for me to sculpt on, and I just started sculpting
Nice. And is that
this
clay?
design. This is a epoxy putty. It's like a two-part compound that has a 2-hour working time, and it starts off soft, and then it cures within
Got
two
it.
hours or
Got it.
at the 2-hour mark. Yeah, so I've been using that medium to sculpt. Um, but yeah, it's nonstop. Like once I'm done with this project, and this is taking me for a while because I'm juggling this and like a few other projects, mostly comic book stuff. And it's always hard with the scheduling and the juggling between projects. This one needs to get done though. So, but even still, like after this figure is done, I gotta start another figure.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And like speaking of comics, you are working on a comic with June the Goon. How much of that can you talk about?
We can go into that. Yeah, we can go into the whole thing with that. Yeah, June Dagoon and I are working on a comic called The Doomsday Curse. Uh, it's a collaboration comic, obviously, but the our gimmick is that we go back and forth between 3 panels. So every page is a 9-panel grid, and every 3 panels we go back and forth. So the first 3 panels will be me, the next will be June, and then afterwards, it keeps repeating to that. Uh, and then I originally intended for it to be just an abstract, whatever uh, collaboration, like our story where June could do whatever he wanted, and I would just have to react to whatever June did. But June wanted something more cohesive story wise, so we sat down, figured out a loose plot, and we kind of plotted out every page to have like an endpoint or a cliffhanger to go to the next page. So we
All right.
did that and went back and forth. But then we were just taking forever on it. June wanted to uh, uh, how do you say it?
Were
Wanted
you drawing the page and then writing notes in the gutter, and then he was changing the dialogue later?
no, we didn't do that yet, but I want to do that. I'm working with another writer, and we were trying. Like whenever we talk about the books that we're working on, we always it'll always come back to like trying to make up uh, uh, trying to make up this different reality or different I guess different reality where one of us is Stan and the other one is Jack, and we keep fighting. We keep fighting for credit, and we just keep uh, talking shit on each other, putting each other on blast.
That's really funny. And like this is part of the comic.
No, it's this is we're setting each other up. I guess it's almost like a marketing ploy where if we say enough stuff about each other, eventually people will have to want to check out what that
That's
project
so
made
funny.
us like get, which project divided us. Like what was that project that divided them? And like why did they keep fighting with each other, arguing
They
with
used to
each
be
other,
such
but they
good
still
friends.
managed to finish a book.
That's really funny. It's a publicity
Because we would
stunt.
because you see with Jack Kirby, and then if you're still watching Cartoon Escape ABC with Neil Gaiman and Todd McFarlane, right through those trial things. Have you listened to those?
I haven't listened to those. I've seen those popping up. Like I watch Cartoon Escape while I'm doing basically like
Oh, right.
mindless drawing. But like if I'm like right now I'm working on the Kickstarter page. I was working on that for a couple hours today, and it takes such a long time. But I haven't watched or listened to anything in a little while. But no, go on. Tell me about those. So there's feuds in comics. For anyone who doesn't know, anytime you're working with anybody in any business, any capacity, there's gonna be, points where you don't like working with people. It happens.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, yeah, comics is not an exception to that. And I don't know. I get it's so interesting what they argue about, because it's such an interesting thing. Like it's two usually if it's the writer and the artist, they're both the creators, but the writer gets credit for the story
Sure.
when the artist just only gets credit for the drawing of that story, because the writer's not drawing, like the writer's not saying to draw um like a trash can that's half full and pieces of paper on the
Right.
ground for
Right.
the exposition. You're saying like, yeah, draw the outside cityscape and we're in this alley.
Right. Unless you're like Alan Moore or something.
Right.
You're not going to be giving super detailed, hyper detailed notes on the environments or the environment, the room that they're in, or the landscape that they're standing on, whatever it is.
Yeah, so it's always a 50-50 credit to the writer and the artist. I forgot what my point was, but
A lot of feuds going on, and
oh
you're
yeah, a
trying
lot of
to
feuds going. Oh yeah. So
you're trying to create a feud to sell a
yeah,
book.
yeah. My friend and I are just having fun with creating those feuds. 'Cause I always imagine like going on panel and then like at San Diego or whatever panel, and we just start arguing like right there.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
At friends' weddings, I like to go with my wife and like pretend like we're fighting. Like if there's like a video that like a videographer going around like, hey, you guys want to record a message for the bride and groom? We'll like record. Well, they'll start recording and like she and I will start talking, and I'm just like just out of nowhere one of us will do something like, why'd you make me wear this? I don't even like this. And the other one is like, oh, don't start your shit. Don't start it right now. And then we just have a blow up and then walk away. I love doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, why is that so funny? That's so funny to me. It's so funny to act out, like just pretend and act it out.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's just playing a prank. It's fun.
Yeah, oh yeah. Doomsday Curse collaboration. So we got that going. Oh yeah, so June, we started it off as digital drawings, but then
Cool.
June moved on to oh, I did that too. We both moved on to traditional physical drawings, and then
Analog
June,
drawings, paper.
yeah,
Nice.
and then June ultimately bought some comic book 11 by 17 margined out comic book paper. He finished all his sides, all his 3-panel sides, and then he sent those off to me. And then now was now I'm in the process of inking my sides, which is like a really weird. It's another challenge now, rather than going back and forth. Now I'm stuck with someone else's story, and I have to fill in the in betweens while making it feel not like an in between, but I am also propelling the story to lead into June's next 3 panels. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. So like you guys were starting this as a sequential Exquisite Corpse book. With for anybody watching, an Exquisite Corpse is two people, at the minimum, two people doing something art based that the other one can't see, and then you combine those two to make one art. But he's basically giving you all of his stuff ahead of time when you guys were going to be taking turns and building off of each other. He's just already jumped to the end.
Right. Yeah. So now the challenge is like, now what June did was he gave me the question and the answer on the same page, and I
Right.
had to fill in I had to fill in the in between to that, which was, I mean, real exercise, like figuring out. Like I spent more time, and I always spend more time, like doing the layouts, like figuring out what goes where and
Mhm.
like where do I go in the story. And it also helps me realize, like, oh, this is why people go back and forth. Uh, it gave me opportunity to go back and forth in between scenes. I can go to different places in the world that we set up.
Right.
Like characters happening in one area, I can jump to characters doing something in another area and still have it make sense. Because since June, like there would be moments where June, like you can take out my 3 panels in between, and it'll still read. You can still read June's story without missing anything.
Oh,
So that
neat.
would give me an opportunity to like show you what happened on the other side, like what else is happening.
Sure, sure.
So like yeah. So that's like helping me figure out like how to do how to make comics, like how to do storytelling in comics, but like really getting restricted down to only the 9 panel grid.
Yeah, that definitely is some creative problem solving that you're gonna have to go through there.
Yeah. I love that 9 panel grid. We even did it where we would, I guess, cheat and use draw one image, then split it up into 3,
Oh,
right?
neat. Yeah,
So
that
you
stuff
would
is
have
fun.
that. Yeah. So like when June did that, that would have me that would almost force me to do a sequential 3 panel story, just so that like once you got out of that sequential panels, the next panel is just, or the next series of panels is just one image, so you always have that like that boom effect.
Sure. I'm like scrambling to finish off some shading on some of these guys. I'm gonna zoom back out and then run through
Should I
like
do with this
little
Doctor
details.
Strange?
What do you mean?
I don't know what else to do. I added more like techie bit stuff.
You know what? You know what would be cool? Since you asked, you've got like basically the bust of him right here, and you've got like it looks like most of your ink lines down. What if you just to like save yourself some trouble, uh, added colors under him where he's like a Star Wars hologram coming to talk to us
Oh
in this like
yeah.
cybernetic setting that we have him in. So
Okay.
this is a projection of this Doctor Strange giving us a message from his what was it, the 562 universe?
From the 562 universe, yeah, to check out Doctor Strange and the Madness of the Multiverse Madness coming out. When's it coming out, Nathaniel? I forgot.
I don't know, it's in like May.
May 25th.
We're just doing this so we can tag it with Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch and get people to watch the video. If they made it this far, kudos to them. I really like the amulet and the different hoses and text that you have connected to it.
Yeah, I gotta add more. I gotta add more techie stuff. Have you watched any of the Marvel Disney Plus shows?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of all of them, but yes, I have watched them. I'm more or less a completionist at this point, so I'm like watching to make sure I know what's going on. I didn't see, there's like things that I've missed, like I really need to get back out to the theater to see Spider-Man No Way Home. Have you seen it already?
Yeah, I saw.
Okay, so we saw it at the drive-in, but we got there like 10 minutes late, so I didn't see Matt Murdock, but he's apparently in there. And I haven't YouTubed to watch that. I kind of really want to watch it in theater. I don't know if it's still in the theater. I really hope it is. Maybe I'll go this weekend because I really love that movie. Um, but as far as like the Disney Plus shows, yes, I have been watching those. I watched and loved Loki. We'll go in order in my for each of those. What was the first one? WandaVision. Love that. Loki. Really love that. What was after that? That's not Hawkeye, right?
Um,
Winter
the
Soldier.
Winter Soldier and
And
Captain America.
yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier. That one, it was all right. You know, it,
Yeah,
it was for like I can best sum it up as like a action primetime hero show that you would catch like Friday nights on CBS. Like with slightly bigger budget.
right.
I dug the last episode. Like that's the I get why this. I'm on the soapbox now. I'm sorry, and then I'm gonna let you talk about the
No,
shows.
no, go.
So like I get why Disney Plus and Disney and Marvel are releasing these as a series of episodes instead of just like one made for TV movie or one movie. Um, there or at least I understand part of the reason, like, and like part of that is it's a subscription service. You got to keep people paying their month to month so they can stay signed up to your product. And how do you keep people signed up for these time intervals? By releasing stuff in time intervals. And you have different properties that you can release over several weeks at a time, and that spreads over a couple of months, and that's a couple more months of subscription money. Great, do that. So let's do 6 episodes of all of these Marvel characters. Some of them could really be done in like a 2-hour movie. But that's not going to make us money. What's going to make us money is getting people to stay signed up for this thing for a longer period of time. So the last one was Hawkeye, and that the preview for Hawkeye was like, hey, you want to see Die Hard but with Hawkeye? Watch this Disney Plus TV series. And it's a 6-hour movie that really could have been like a 2-hour movie, and I think everyone would have been happy. But like, I get it. You gotta spread it out, and you gotta keep people signed up. So there was each one of these shows has things that I like and things that, like, you really didn't need it in that story. But I get it. Anyways, sorry. How do you feel about the Disney Marvel shows?
Oh no, the same. I kind of like watching even the bad ones just to see how they went about it. Like what were these decisions made to get this for the story. It's like, oh,
Sure.
they did that? Well, okay. Now they're stuck with it. They're stuck with those story beats, but at the same time they they still have room to not be.
Right.
They can always change something.
Yeah, how stuck are they going to be? Like, I mean, they've I was telling like another one of my soapboxes is that like we are starting to see Marvel retcon things. Like, the more movies that will come out, the more shows that will come out, the more that they're going to have to go back and change stuff and say that this is not all canon, because that's the trappings of trying to do, like, this is all going to be one giant connected story. And then, like, when one thing doesn't fit, they have to say, okay, this one's not part of it anymore, and you have to suspend disbelief at this point now. And which is, like, how, spoiler alert, how Spider-Man 3 ends. Like, they basically wipe the slate clean, and they really kind of shoehorn in Venom way at the end.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Which, like, I don't hate, and like, I get it. You gotta, there's gonna be a new generation of people watching this stuff. This isn't your to quote another podcast, this isn't your slightly older brother's Spider-Man. This is a newer Spider-Man for the next generation, or the barely the next generation. And then they're gonna keep doing that as long as it's making money, which I totally get. It's a business, and they make cool stories out of the characters that I grew up reading, and I'm getting to see a lot of these characters on the big screen that I never got to. So, like, I don't like as much as I'm gonna say that, like, Hawkeye didn't need to be 6 hours. Like, when I was a kid, if you asked me, hey, do you want to watch a 6-hour Hawkeye show? It'd be like, hell yeah, there's a 6-hour Hawkeye show. Let's fucking turn the TV on. Let's do this.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I guess it's not. So it's like kind of not for us. It is and it isn't. We take the things that we like and we can enjoy that. But man, like I think the reason why we argue or we debate or we get upset with these things is because we know that it can always be better.
Oh, sure.
Right?
Yeah, and that's that's part and parcel for everything.
Yeah.
Love that blue on that pink.
I know that works on primary colors.
Take
They
that.
always work.
Yeah, so looks like we're almost done here. I hate that that Roman column now, but I'm gonna leave it in just because we're this far along. Really didn't need that. I think I channeled a little bit of Jack Kirby into these things. Otherwise,
that's what I should have done. I should have put Jack Kirby in this.
I think it looks good, man.
Yeah, so I have the Doomsday Curse with June. I also have the Angriest Warrior.
Oh yeah. Talk about the Angriest Warrior, which is on the surface looks like just super angry Conan, but talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's yes, basically what that is. Next topic. The Angriest Warrior came about through mythology, through our friend Colby Bluth. Remember Colby?
Yeah. Wait.
Is that his name? I think it's Colby.
He would always draw the monkey.
Did he? I think so.
Or he drew a monkey sometimes.
Probably. I know he draws females too.
Yeah. Glasses, goatee, real.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Real mild mannered.
Yeah, and then what's his alter ego? Oh my god, I think you figured out it's Doctor Strange. He's Doctor Strange.
There he is. Yeah, I remember Colby, of course. Follow him on the Instagrams and whatnot. Maybe I'll have him join me for one of these sessions.
Oh yeah, that's a good. Oh, you know what? Maybe this could be like your mythology reunion where you just revisit all the mythology.
Like full disclosure, that's like kind of what I'm using it for, man. Because like I had such a great time there, and like this is gonna like come up in most of these talks, but actually it kind of hasn't until now. So like you and I met at Meltology, if I'm not mistaken, and then we started seeing each other at comic conventions. Is that how you remember it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not just us. Like we met. There's like a bunch of people at Meltology.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it was it felt like one of those instances where like, oh, all these people are coming together and we're gonna make this great art. And for my money, we did. It's like this really cool monthly zine that we would all meet up and chip in for, and Chuck Kerr would every month like just like show up and be present, and then he would just tell people that like, hey, if you show up also, I'm gonna make a zine for you guys. If you chip in printing money and you draw something here, I will take all of your drawings, go home, make a book, and then print a bunch of them and bring them back and then give you guys all of those books. And yeah, it was like I met you, met Dave Baker, met Nicole Goo, met oh my god, I'm not gonna be able to name everybody. Jamie, I forget her last name at the moment. But like most people are following each other on Instagram. Most people are still connected, at least that way. Some people are not drawing as much. A lot of people have like industry jobs or got industry jobs while they were doing that. Like Chuck is art director at Entertainment Weekly now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like Dave and Nicole are publishing books with who's Everybody Loves Tulip. That's Dark Horse, right?
That's Dark Horse, yeah. Then they have a book coming out through Simon and Schuster as well,
which is huge.
Yeah, that's huge. I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, I really,
Uh,
really want to see that one. The bootleg society looks so rad.
mhm.
Because like that's like it's that's a comic about teens publishing content, which like it's very different content, but like it's about a bunch of weirdos getting together and making and publishing something, which is what Melthology was, which is a monthly meetup at a comic book shop and a bunch of people getting together and making a comic book together. It wasn't a collected solid story comic book. It was a zine anthology, but it was I loved doing that. It felt like an after school art club. And I'm trying to like I don't know if I'm recreating it through these video chats and drawing sessions, but I'm doing my best to like just like reconnect with everyone. Like the store that Chuck would hold it at is no longer in existence. Meltdown Comics, RIP. Um, Everyone is doing their own thing, and I'm just like, and then like the pandemic happened, and so like it's hard to like connect with people in general. So this is really just like I don't know if it's a cry for help, but it's definitely me trying to say like, hey man, like I still want to draw stuff and be around people that draw stuff and like connect with all these buddies that I made and people that I talk to, and like um so really what I'm trying to say is thanks for hanging out online and agreeing to do this. That looks so sick, man.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Oh, I gotta fill in the columns behind him. Got this. Got this. We're almost there. We're almost there.
Yeah, Mythology was fun. I kind of wanted to bring that, not bring it that back, but I do want to do something similar in Long Beach, if I could make that happen.
Yeah, and I feel like I had mentioned last time I was on the Ink and Drink Discord and drawing night, or at least the digital version of that. I think you're already doing that to a certain degree, and I think that
Right.
all you need to do really, and take this with a grain of salt, is like figure out what works that everybody has already drawn you would collect, and how that would work. And like the hard part of that is um, logistically speaking, like there are so many people that draw on those boards and everybody's drawing on one thing. So like there would have to be, you would have to, like get people to sign off on like what you'd be allowed to use. And you'd have to decide if you're going to do the whole board or just sections that those particular artists drew. And like, I think the easiest way to do that would be to like make the artist send you the things that they drew in this format. It's great that everything is a square so that everything could be printed easily, but yeah, I think that you already have the material to do that. All you have to do is figure out what the format would be. What kind of book? Is it going to be a book at all? Is it a magazine? Are you going to, maybe it's videos and you do like interviews with the artist, that kind of thing.
Oh, videos. Yeah, I haven't even considered that.
Yeah. Honestly, I love printing stuff and making comics. That's like, where my heart's at, which is why I'm doing a Kickstarter, making more Dark Mouse comics. And these videos are really just a means to an end to get people to chip into the Kickstarter, and again, to reconnect with people that I haven't talked to or drawn with in a while, like yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, this has been fun.
Sweet. I think we're there, man.
Yeah. Okay. I'll eliminate these little bits.
I don't even see what you're doing, so I believe you. Oh wait,
Here we go.
These guys on the side. Cybernetic Doctor Strange with the expression of, I have to tell you something right now.
I know. Look at his eyes. He's urgent. It's an urgent message to check out Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, May 25th. Only in theaters. Disney Plus on September 30th.
Disney Plus isn't paying for this.
We're sponsored by Disney Plus. If you sign up to Disney Plus today, use the offer code Osollo, get 30% off.
Use the offer code 562 for 0% off. I'm everything you buy at Disney.com. And all right, boom, calling it. You know what? He's like, it's not like an urgent like safety message. This is him saying, do you know where the bathroom is?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Wong, bathroom. Wong, bathroom.
Nice. Oh, you gotta sign it. You gotta put your signature in here somewhere.
Signature. Okay, I'll put that. Oh, dang.
I'm gonna put my signature in the background over here. Say again.
It's loading again. Oh, no, here we go. I got it.
Sweet. Nice. That's so cool, man. So I'm thinking about there's two Erwin Papas on my Zoom.
This is the same face.
I'm gonna this is 1920 by 1080. So I think I'm gonna make these downloadable for anybody who watches the video, who gets to the end, that kind of thing. Are you cool with that?
That's fine with me.
Sweet. All right. I'm gonna put in some links for your Instagram and you have a website proper, right?
No, I don't.
Oh.
I have a link tree, and there's like a art profile page through Long Beach Arts.
Long Beach what?
Just kind of, Long Beach Arts Council. It's on the link tree. I got a
cool.
link tree on Instagram.
Nice. I used to work with Riverside Arts Council a lot.
Oh.
Okay, so we have to talk about that next time. All right, so Instagram, Linktree, anything else you want me to send people to?
Ink and Drink Long Beach. You can find us on Instagram, Ink and Drink LB, with underscores in between every word. But I think if you just go to the search and just type in Ink and Drink LB, you'll find it. We have an online event that we do every Wednesday. That's the online art jam, where much like this drawing board, we use the same website, the same technology. A bunch of us get together, draw on the same drawing board. That one's gridded out, so everyone can like take up a square. You can take up two or how many you want. Just be respectful of the other participants. But we also chat on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific time. That's every week. And then we also have a monthly in-person event at Supply and Demand, 2500 East Anaheim Street in Long Beach. Then our next event is on a Wednesday, March 2nd.
Yeah, March 2nd. So I don't know if this is going to be going up before then.
Okay.
What's the date in April? Or do you have one yet?
April, we do. Thanks for reminding me. April 14th. I believe that's a Thursday, April 14th.
Yes, according to this calendar that I'm looking at. Nice. Okay, so April 14th is the next live one. Every Wednesday, you can anybody that goes to the Ink and Drink link tree can join the conversation on Discord at Wednesdays at 8 o'clock or thereabouts. And at virtually any time, you can go to the Aggie drawing link and draw and add to that. And just if you want to talk with everybody else, just go to Discord Wednesdays at 8.
Yeah. Currently, we only have like two squares left on the current drawing board, but by the time this is up, I mean, it could always be different.
Sure. Oh, you only have two squares
on
the one for March 2nd?
No. We only have two squares open for the current one, for the current drawing board that we have open now, because most of it is filled up.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But we do it every week, so there'll be a new drawing board Wednesday.
Right. Cool.
For Wednesday, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Cool. What are you doing this weekend?
I think I'm just gonna finish. I'm gonna hope to finish the figure, and then start inking the Doomsday Project, Doomsday Curse
And when is
comic
Doomsday
book.
Curse gonna be done? Are you guys kickstarting that
Uh,
also?
the initial idea was to do that. I guess we could. There's other. There's another
Indiegogo?
crowdfund. Indiegogo. There's also Zoop. Have you heard of Zoop?
I have heard of Zoop. I've seen there's another one called Crowd Funds with a Z or something like that, or Funder,
Yeah,
Z
I think
Funder.
Kinker's using that.
Yeah, that one. Um, I think like I spent so much time studying Kickstarter that I was like, all right, I'm gonna use this one first, and depending on how this goes, like maybe use a different one next time. But I'll probably try them all at some point, or try several different ones at different points. Um, but okay, so you guys are gonna crowdfund that comic book whenever it's done.
Yeah, we're hoping, and if it doesn't get funded, I mean, we can always fund it ourselves.
Right, cool.
We always have that option. What else? I think that's it. And I'll be just watching my YouTube videos.
Sweet. What
Oh, my TikToks. I gotta post my TikToks on Sunday.
your
That's what I
TikTok,
also do on the weekend.
your TikToks, man, the reels that you share on Instagram are so cringy. Like I think my wife was like looking over my shoulder and she's like, "What the hell are you watching?" And I was like, "Man, Erwin posts some weird videos, just like, and I didn't realize you're doing it like every week, or like a weekly thing on Sundays. But like, yeah, whenever I see those, I'm just like, I got to be in a certain mood to watch those because it's an acquired taste, I'll say. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I can appreciate that. I love that it exists. It's not always for me, but I love that it exists. We'll call it there, man. I'll let you go. I've taken up enough of your time. I normally try and keep this to an hour. We've gone well past that, so I appreciate you hanging out and drawing something kick-ass with me. For everybody watching, like, subscribe, follow Erwin at Erwin.Papa. I'll have links to the Ink and Drink and links to Erwin's page on in the video description below. This is the art piece that we made today on this combination drawing, this combo drawing. Cybernetic Doctor Strange with something very important to tell you. Download it, use it as your wallpaper, show your friends. Thanks so much, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
No problem.